Welcome to True Crime EDU. Today we examine the case of Angela Gallup. This is an educational breakdown drawn from documented public record, the facts as they are known. Angela Mary Cecilia Gallup, born January 2, 1950, is a British forensic scientist. She began her career with the Forensic Science Service in 1974. Since 1986, she has run her own forensic service companies. Her findings helped solve notorious cases such as the deaths of Roberto Calvi, Rachel Nichol, Lynette White, Damilola Taylor, and Gareth Williams. She also took part in the investigation of the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, finding no evidence to support theories of a conspiracy. She has been awarded the Order of the British Empire for her scientific contributions, detailed in her books, and has been portrayed on television. Gallup was born and raised in Oxford, England, and grew up tomboyish playing with her brothers, half-brothers, and her chemistry set. Her parents, Eunice and Kenneth Knowles, divorced. She was educated at Headington School but performed poorly and barely qualified for the sixth form, where a botany teacher sparked her interest in science. She studied botany at the University of Sheffield and biochemistry at the University of Oxford. Gallup spent much of the early 1970s researching the biochemistry of chloroplasts and sea slugs on the Isle of Wight for her Doctor of Philosophy degree. Seeking a more popular field as well as a less repetitive job, Gallup became a senior biologist with the Forensic Science Service, FSS, in 1974. Aside from assistants and secretarial staff, she was one of few women in the laboratory. Her boss did not think she could cope emotionally, but her colleagues supported her. She visited her first crime scene in February 1978, looking for clues about the murder in Huddersfield of Helen Ritka, later confirmed as a victim of Peter Sutcliffe. She credits her determination to give some relief to the family to this case. By 1986, Gallup felt her workload was too large and her stimulation unsatisfactory, so she established her first company, Forensic Access. She intended to provide services to criminal defense lawyers who could not rely on the FSS expertise at the time. Her advertisements initially yielded requests for infidelity investigations, which she carried out. By the end of 1986, her business had grown enough to have full-time employees and she moved her work from her home to a proper laboratory. She soon began investigating murder, assault, and arson cases as well as cold cases. She was commissioned by the defense in the trial of Robert Thompson for the murder of James Bulger. By 1991, when she was hired to re-examine the evidence in the apparent suicide by hanging of Italian banker Roberto Calvi, Gallup had gained a reputation for her unconventional methods. Realizing that he shared Calvi's proportions, Gallup conducted experiments with her husband, fellow forensic scientist Russell Stockdale, that demonstrated that Calvi could not have hanged himself and that he was murdered. Nobody has been convicted, but Calvi's family were impressed by Gallup's work and consider her findings essential. Gallup founded another company, Forensic Alliance, in 1997, providing service to the police. In 1999, the company solved the 1988 murder of Lynette White after finding a microscopic flake of dried blood under 2 layers of new paint. The police began hiring Gallup whenever they needed to review significant cold cases. She was asked in 2003 to review the evidence in the 2000 killing of Damilola Taylor. In 2004, the Metropolitan Police commissioned her to have a look at the forensic evidence relating to the 1997 car crash deaths of Diana, Princess of Wales, and Dodi Fayed. Gallup found no grounds to support the claims of Fayed's father, Mohammed Al-Fayed, that the couple were killed in a conspiracy involving the British royal family. Gallup's analysis of Diana's stomach content proved to Operation Paget that Diana was not pregnant when she died. When investigating the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path murders, Gallup prevailed upon the police to fund the expensive examination of trace evidence, which led to the conviction of the murderer. She considers this the most satisfying moment in her career and believes that the case would not have been solved without fiber examination. The same method proved successful when she was commissioned to investigate the 1993 murder of Stephen Lawrence, a black teenager. She contributed evidence to the McPherson inquiry, which found that the initial investigation of Lawrence's death failed due to institutional racism in the Metropolitan Police. She was commissioned for the case again in 2006, providing key evidence that led to convictions. Gallup has also commented on the investigation into the death of Gareth Williams, the Secret Intelligence Service operative who was found dead in suspicious circumstances at a security service safe house flat in Pimlico, London, in 2010. Other high-profile murder cases solved with Gallup's help include that of Rachel Nichol. Besides murders, Gallup has been commissioned to investigate other kinds of criminal cases, including suspected incest, rapes, war crimes, and bestiality. In a particularly unusual case, she confirmed the presence of boar sperm in the abdomen of a man hospitalized with a punctured colon and peritonitis. She has also worked on the investigations of alleged alien abductions. In 2010, Gallup helped found Axiom International, which provides forensic and related advice to law enforcement agencies worldwide. She is the firm's chief executive. She has since worked in Libya, Iraq, Somaliland, and Kosovo. To Gallup's dismay, the UK government closed the FSS in 2012 to save funds. According to Irish forensic scientist Niamh Nicdade, some people in the business blame Gallup for the demise of the FSS because she started a competing commercial alternative to it, but she thinks such conclusions are a bit unfair. In Gallup's view, the FSS should have been modernized and made properly commercial rather than closed. In late 2021, Gallup met John Actie, one of 5 black and mixed-race men who had been wrongly accused of the murder of Lynette White. He had spent 2 years in prison when Gallup's findings proved his innocence. This was her first meeting with someone she helped exonerate and was filmed for a Channel 5 documentary. Gallup has reduced her involvement in frontline forensic work but has expressed an interest in taking on plenty of cold cases, including the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. In 2026, she was commissioned by Michael Stone's legal team to perform a forensic review of evidence in his case. Gallup started writing to record her life's work and to highlight the lack of funding and recognition for forensic scientists. She detailed her early cases in a 2019 book titled When the Dogs Don't Bark. A second book, How to Solve a Crime, came out in early 2022. She is careful about what she puts in her books and said that the inclusion of certain revealing elements of forensic technique would make our job a lot more difficult. Gallup is a visiting professor at the University of Strathclyde. Between 2001 and 2004, Gallup was president of the Forensic Science Society and in 2011 was awarded an honorary degree of Doctor of Science, D.Sc., by Nottingham Trent University, in recognition of her contribution to national and international forensic science and the support of justice. Gallup has served on the Independent Police Commission, chaired by Lord Stevens. Gallup was made Commander of the Order of the British Empire as part of the 2015 Queen's Birthday Honours. Angela Gallup is portrayed by actor Anastasia Hill in the 2021 TV miniseries titled The Pembrokeshire Murders. Gallup praised Hill's talent but lamented the lack of likeness and passion in the character, observing that scientists are not constantly very serious and very considered . She has also said that the cooperation with the police was not always so very well-mannered and straightforward. Gallup was also played by Nancy Carroll in the 2021 TV miniseries Stephen, a drama following the fight for justice for murdered teenager Stephen Lawrence. Gallup was a guest on Desert Island Discs on October 20, 2022. Gallup appeared on the 2023 Paramount Plus show Murder of God's Banker. Gallup, Angela, 2019. When the Dogs Don't Bark, a forensic scientist's search for the truth. Gallup, Angela, 2022. How to Solve a Crime, Stories from the Cutting Edge of Forensics. Gallup, Angela, February 13, 2020. If the UK cares about justice, it must fund forensic services properly. Retrieved March 27, 2022. Gallup lives with her 2 Siamese cats in rural Oxfordshire. She retains an interest in sea slugs. She has been married twice and has a son. Angela Gallup and Russell Stockdale separated in 2003 but remained close. He died in late 2021. The case of Angela Gallup shows how complex investigations can be, and why the public record matters. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe to True Crime EDU for a new educational case analysis every day. Stay curious and stay critical.